Hello, welcome or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz and I will be guiding you on this journey. We have a couple decks and as always, we're going to ask for consent from the deck that we're going to use for these readings because, we want to be sure that the deck even has a message, that it has the energy to give us a message. So I basically just shuffle until a yes or a no card comes out. And this is a deck that I was looking for. And it was like way in the back of this one shelf that I have all of my decks on that I've been kind of transferring to this other shelf. Anyway, in the process of finding it, a couple other decks went flying. So that was fun. I'm like, I know I'm not going through all of this just for you to say no to me. So, which it has the freedom to do. So, anyway, I was like, what am I talking about? I've been kind of doing a little disclaimer at the beginning, just so we're all on the same page. We have the star. That's a yes card. Okay, good. So, we'll save these two decks for another time. So yeah, disclaimers. I'm not a psychic. I'm certainly not claiming to be, but I know these cards and my intention is to give you the message as it is coming through on the card and as it's coming through for me. I always set the intention for the message to come through me, not from me. So however which way and as many different times that comes through, I do like to explain the message of each card because not only does it help me process my thoughts, but you have your own intuition. You're the one that's living your life. So no doubt you are going to receive your own message. Now, of course, be discerning. Don't try to fit a small peg into a round hole. Really listen to that distant voice, not the loud one, not that loud one that most of us have, but the one for me, it's always like off to the right back of my head. And it's literally, it's like just, it's neutral. It's confident. It's like, it's free of ego, emotion, all the things, right? So that is the voice that we want to tap into, even if we sometimes don't like what it is saying. Of course, if you haven't already, I would absolutely adore you. Well, I adore you anyway, but I would adore you even more if you subscribe to my channel. Truly, it is an energy exchange. And of course it helps me grow. So it's, just this circle of, growth, because hopefully these messages are affirming or confirming for you, because sometimes too, we just need to have confirmation or affirmation that what we think is going on is actually going on. And that way it frees up the mind space. It frees up our energetic space to be able to focus on the next thing. And truly, I do think that at least the messages that I give are more so along those lines, so that you can be like, oh, okay, that is actually happening. So what's next, right? Like, what do I want to do with this? What can I now focus my time, my energy, my everything on, instead of like staying in this this loop of, is this happening or no? And with all that being said, I know I also didn't get around to the human design profile readings last time around. Life, we roll with it. So hopefully I'll be able to get around to those this time, because I'm sure those were missed. And okay, let's get into the reading. Great. So my dog sounds like Thumper. So this is a reading for Taurus. Wherever Taurus is in your chart, I know Uranus is like sitting at the later degrees. It might be sitting right on top of my sun right now. I'm a Taurus sun, 28 degrees, and I have a Taurus Chiron at 27 degrees. So, yeah, you know, Uranus is just hanging out, I think, around there. I know it's going to be moving into Gemini soon. We have the page of something. I haven't seen this page yet. I want to say wands, actually, but what else for Taurus? Maybe it's actually cups, because it kind of looks like this shadow is holding a cup. I don't know. I haven't actually used these cards since like 2023, so some of them I'm like, what is this? Whoa, I haven't had to do that. In the last few readings. But anyway, okay, cards going crazy over here. Cool it. For Taurus. The moon, interesting. What else for Taurus? I want to say like one more card, but I feel like there's a couple. We'll see. For Taurus. I feel like there's more. So that's why we're going here, but we'll see. I mean, Ace of Wands. Okay. Four of Wands. The star at the bottom of the deck. I'm just kind of keeping this Ace of Wands on top of the moon because that's the way that it came out. Like it fell out on top of the moon card. So we're leaving it there. Oh, and I do want to see what this page was. Oh. Yeah, Page of Cups. Let me just... Okay. Just kind of like moving cards around. So we start with the Page of Cups. Okay. So I'm just kind of like sitting here staring at all these cards, and I just kind of heard in my head, like, get started, right? Like, so anyway, yeah, Page of Cups. Cups have to do with our emotions, right? Like, how do we feel about things, about ourselves, our lives, the people around us, heart chakra energy, also creativity, expression, intuition, empathy, compassion, love, right? Like, what is your relationship to love? How do you give it? How do you receive it, more importantly? Because I think a lot of us are better at giving than we are at, receiving the same in kind. Like, we want it, but push it away sometimes. And what I kept like also staring at between this Page of Cups and the Moon card, which is Cancer. So we have these two water cards out here, and we have these two fire cards out here, and we have the star at the bottom of the deck, which is interesting. Like, when you think water and fire, they don't necessarily go very well together unless there's some sort of like container or separation between them, right? Like water would put out fire. Fire boils water, or makes it turn into steam. So it feels like duality. But that's not what I was what I was looking at, these two cards here, right? Like there's these, I'm assuming that they're dogs. Does it say? Maybe fox. Maybe they're foxes. Let's see. Yeah, foxes. A youth entertains a group of foxes with dazzling shadow puppets. The Page of Cups is the most childlike of the pages. This card encourages emotion and creativity to bloom and encourages you to embrace life. Take full advantage of the little things and see the world through fresh eyes. Embrace and nurture your feelings in order to set free your inner child. Emotion, embracing life, fresh outlook, creativity. But I was getting this feeling about being more comfortable, say, like with your pet versus with people. And even if there's some sort of creative, like, okay, I'm just gonna roll with it because this is what's coming to me, and like I'm like halfway worried that I'm like, I don't know, veering too far like off course or something, but fuck it. Because like I will show my dog creative things, like I will talk to my dog like he is a human, and almost just like share excitement for things or whatever, like I used to, when I was a kid, the dog that we had growing up, I still have pictures of that poor thing, but I used to dress it up in clothes too. She was such a good sport. But I used to dress her up in clothes and like make her model them. Oh man, I feel like I have always just been like more comfortable around animals than people anyway, but so it's interesting that I halfway wonder if like that is something that like you are experiencing too, whether you have a dog, cat, these are foxes, so some other type of animal, birds, whatever, and they're locked in, like they're having a great time with this shadow puppet. But then on the moon card here, there are some people here kind of in the shadows back here. We can see like the silhouette of two people here. There's some hands coming up around here also, and she's turned her back on them. Even like with her hand on her heart, like choosing a different path, like breaking free of either tradition or the pack even. I don't know if foxes like run in packs. I don't know if there's, if you see a bunch of foxes together, like do you say that's a pack of foxes, or is there something else specific? But anyway, so that's interesting. That is just observations. But again, right, like with the Page of Cups, it is exploring your creativity, like letting your imagination expand, even being playful. Manifesting, even trying different creative outlets. even having the desire at all to be creative. And to, like, maybe you are wanting to find a community or peers that align with you. Because even, these foxes, it could represent people, of course. But it would be like finding your tribe. I'm not like a super huge fan of that, but I think that it probably describes, like, it's like one of those buzzwords that used to go around like a while ago. I don't know if it still is a buzzword, but it's like, it's finding your people. It's like finding the ones who get it, and you get them, and everybody, like, is comfortable. There's also even like this camaraderie thing, that happens. Like, you're welcomed, you're invited, you feel comfortable and confident in expressing yourself, and even in showing your interests. Like, just picture having a conversation with somebody who does have the same interest as you, and just the level of excitement, and like you're learning, you're sharing your perspective, right? Like, they're doing the same thing. Just like how fun that would be. And I love the keywords: that emotion, embracing life, fresh outlook, creativity, embracing your inner child, even too. Because what is, like, with children, we think play, learning, curiosity, exploring, adventure, So yeah, I love that. Even just having like a childlike wonder about things, exploring your intuition, reconnecting with empathy and compassion for yourself first, but of course for other people also. I love that. And then, like I said, we have the moon card here with the Ace of Wands. Even in the Ace of Wands, it looks like there's like a full moon back there. It might be the sun. It could be neither. But the moon talks about the subconscious. Illusions, mystery, even maybe the things that like have not been made aware in our consciousness yet. Like, it could be the things that we are still trying to unpack. Like, say over here, right? Like, you have this desire to, like, you want to be creative. You want to, maybe even connect with people that share the same, like, passion, level of creativity, just connect on some level creatively, embracing life, like wanting to even just like change your environment, like, and again, it would be based on how you feel. Like, you have this intuition, you have this feeling to change things up, or again, to find these connections. And maybe it's like one of those things where, like, you don't even know why, you don't even know where that shit's coming from. It's just, it is coming up. And like I said, she's got her, or, they've got their hand over their heart. So to me, it feels like even connecting in with your heart space. They're, like I said, they have their back turned towards the silhouette of these people back here. So breaking away from something, choosing to head in the direction of uncertainty, even because the moon does also talk about uncertainty. Let's see. The book says subconscious, doubt, guidance, illusion. A woman stands before the crescent moon, shadows dancing at her feet. The moon is a card that draws on the subconscious and urges us to look at our shadow selves for guidance. If you are feeling lost or uncertain, call upon dreams and intuition to guide your way. However, do not play into the hands of your darkest fears and fantasies, for they will only lead you astray. And I honestly love that that's what is being represented back here, the shadow self. You know, Brene Brown calls them gremlins. And I love that the first card that came out is talking about embracing the inner child. The second card that came out is talking about, just recognizing or being aware of your shadow and like what is coming up for you around like whatever situation you find yourself in. However you're feeling, it's like, why am I feeling this way? Am I safe? Yes, I think for the most part. Is this an old story? Is it true? Is it something I want to bring with me? And like I said, right, like it is paired with the Ace of Wands, which is a brand new spark. This is inspiration, desire, passion. Something to get motivated about, something to get excited about, right? Like something that inspires you to take action. And it's an ace, so it's new. I kind of love that this arm is like coming out of all of these flames here, because to me that feels like literally having to walk through your own fire. This could even be, of course, a dark night of the soul, just this would be the light in your own darkness. There's the Sugarland song, Stand Back Up, which I've been blaring that song. There's a verse in there that says, when the darkness tries to get me, there's a light that just won't let me. That's like this. That's how like this feels. When the darkness tries to get me, there's a light that just won't let me. And maybe too, like maybe it is that you are just finding your own spark again. Of course, there could be something like externally that that kind of like sparks this whole thing. But this literally could be finding it within yourself. And it could be because, like I said over here, right? Embracing life differently, making connections, even, like expressing yourself authentically. Because I feel like, I feel like I used the word expression somewhere, but right, it truly is like showing people, like just being yourself, giving yourself permission to do that. Not allowing, the shadow, our ego, the self-sabotage, the gremlins, again, like Brene Brown calls it, like not letting those things hold you back. And like I said, I do love that the card that is paired with the moon card is the Ace of effing Wands. Fire, illuminating, right? And I wanted to see if that, because that would be interesting if that was the sun. I don't think that it is. I mean, we could say that it is, but inspiration, power, creation, potential. A hand reaches through the flames to hold a budding wand aloft. This card symbolizes action and inspiration. If you have drawn the Ace of Wands face up, it means that you are excited about a new idea or project. The Ace of Wands is encouraging you to go full out for what you want. The fire is burning around you, but out of it you emerge with your offering held aloft. Listen to your instincts and follow your intuition. The time for action is now. The details of the plan will reveal themselves in time. But what is important now is the initial surge of passion and energy. And I also love that because, like I said, I believe sometimes when I say that, I'm like, did I actually already say something along these lines? Like, it just comes out of my mouth. But I think I was saying that somewhere over here. Like, if you don't necessarily know like where that motivation is coming from, because I'm saying that because of the moon card, right? Like, there's just something, in your heart, in your emotional body, you can even maybe feel that spark, that fire, like coming back, right? Like, and if you're just like, I'm not really sure what this is or where it's even coming from, just roll with it. Like, we don't have to know. I know we think we do, but we really don't have to know. And truly, it's an excuse. It's, for me anyway, I've just learned this about myself. Like, I'm like, who's all going to be there? Anytime, any type of, emotion, feel, whatever. Who's all going to be there? We don't need to know in this case, right? Like, we just need to follow that. Allow ourselves to get creative, allow ourselves to show up authentically, have those conversations, right? Like, express your passions and the things that you're interested in. It's so funny that there's this mouse here on their sleeve, but I don't even think the book even mentions anything about a mouse. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the thing that popped into my head was Cinderella. Like Gus and the mice that are in Cinderella. And so I'm like, okay, so what is it about like Cinderella then, right? Like, and I'm just kind of sitting here like going through the story of Cinderella, like the cartoon, although Ever After is like one of my top 5 all-time like favorite movies. But so she's kind of like a housemaid, right, Cinderella? But then there's this ball that is announced and she wants to go. Not only that, everybody else wants her to go except for, of course, stepmom and sisters, right? But it's kind of like she wanted to go, but wasn't necessarily super duper attached to it. I mean, she was, but when she found out like she wasn't going to go, I guess she did get locked into a room upstairs, right? Like, but the thing that like keeps kind of popping up into my head about Cinderella is just the surprises that had happened along the way. The fairy godmother, surprise. Actually meeting the prince, surprise, right? Because she was like kind of lost, wasn't she? Like trying to find the ballroom, and he like went out and guided her into the ballroom. I mean, love at first sight too. It's almost just like kind of like it has this feeling of like stumbling into either purpose or stumbling into a connection, stumbling into something. And also even just going with the flow, because accepting help, accepting magic, I don't know. I it's interesting though that this little picture of a mouse, I mean, I'm assuming it's a mouse, Watch it be like a rat or something. And then what? Ratatouille? Anyway, so yeah, like, you know, again, like just this feeling of like stumbling into like the perfect outcome, the perfect timeline, the perfect everything. I love that. And we have the Four of Wands at the end of the reading here, the star at the bottom of the deck. The Four of Wands is a card of celebration. There's, you know, this family of rabbits here. The Four of Wands talks about harmony, unity, it's stability and having a foundation under you. It's the actions that you have taken getting you to this point, and there being excitement around that. Celebration, harmony, home, community, right? And we were talking about that at the beginning of again, right? I mean, it could be stumbling your way into community where you feel home, you feel accepted, seen, heard, loved, you know. A family of rabbits snuggles together in their burrow beneath a festive banner, enjoying the bounty of the harvest. The Four of Wands signifies a period of happiness and stability. It heralds a celebration, happy times, and a harmonious home environment. Now is a perfect time to get together with family and friends and to share the warmth of your heart with others. The Four of Wands is one of the most positive cards in the tarot and heralds joy, accomplishment, and connection. Exactly. And like with the star card at the bottom of the deck, it's like, it's literally what you have wished for, like what you had hoped for. We can see that, you know, this figure is literally diving for, reaching out for the star here, which again, like the star has to do with hope, faith, trusting the process, trusting yourself, like also trusting for things to work out for your highest good. I always see the star card as being the literal space between the 5D where we co-create, where we manifest, where we get clear on what we are trying to manifest, and the 3D where we are, right? And the star is literally right between those two spaces, and it's, you know, the bridge. It's, you know, pulling one down into the other. Even we have the 10 of Pentacles behind the star card, which is another card of community, legacy, wealth, generational wealth. But it could just be it could be, of course, that like literal, you know, success monetarily, absolutely. You know, it could just be also too that this whole thing just leaches out into other areas of your life, you know, and all of those areas just get better. But again, right, I mean, being surrounded by people, environments that help you grow, that nourish you. And love you too. This is beautiful. I'm happy for you. I love this. Honestly, I was so excited to do this reading, like to sit down and do this reading. It did not disappoint. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.